And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
Author and podcaster Paul Myers and I go back to the early 2000s when I was doing CFOX's afternoon show from 3 till 7, and Paul was down the hall at Mojo Radio doing 1 to 3 in the afternoon. So, our paths would kind of cross in the hallways, a nod, a hey, how's she going? How's the day? And we're both making cups of coffee or whatever in the lunchroom. A good dude. And yes, he is the brother of Mike Myers. It's that Myers. And without question, Paul is accomplished in his own right. He's the guy who wrote The Kids in the Hall, One Dumb Guy book, if you've read that or heard about it and want to. A good read. And he wrote A Wizard, a True Star, Todd Rundgren, in the studio. Paul has an excellent podcast as well called the Record Store Day Podcast. Covered a lot of ground, a lot of stuff with him. Life in general, family, binging shows, the music in his house as a kid, first concerts, movies, all of that world. And here, Paul shares the story of writing that Kids in the Hall book, working on a John Candy book, and his, at the time, upcoming projects. Listen to this.
Lately, an average day is I have 3 projects on the go, and depending on which one needs my attention, I will try to make I don't know if you can see this, but this is a list of things I have to do today.
Yes.
And my wife is a professional organizer, and so she's really good at teaching me systems, because my brain is, actually, you've even heard this in this conversation, my brain is such that it will go 18 different directions if I don't have a what I call a roadmap.
I'm the same thing.
Yeah. So for instance, I am working on a book about John Candy that won't be out for at least a year.
Cool.
So I'm still doing interviews for it, and I interviewed Catherine O'Hara and Joe Flaherty, and I'm trying to get Eugene Levy, and they're putting the dates. He got popular this year, so it's really hard to corral him. But I have different interviews in the can already for different people for that. I'm also working on a documentary as an executive producer. It's based on my one of my books. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet, but I'm working on a documentary that's supposed to be out next year with Amazon. And that's the first time I've been an executive producer on anything. And I had something to do with blocking out the story as well. And then I'm also doing the podcast every 2 weeks. Right. So that means booking people, because I pretty much do all the booking and recording of interviews from here, from this little home. They've set me up with a couple of nice things, including this SM7B microphone that I'm speaking into.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, and I got them to get me a boom microphone, because I found myself, I used to have the mic over on the side, and I'd be out. Out. It's so during the whole COVID. I mean, the thing is, pre-COVID, I was still doing this Zoomy interview stuff, because I live in a place that's not LA and not New York and not Toronto and not Vancouver.
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies.
The Tudors were probably the most scandalous dynasty in British history. This season on Vulgar History, we're spilling the tea on this messy, messed up family and the people who had to live through it all. Anne Boleyn and the other wives of Henry VIII are known today from the musical Six, but who were they really? Did any of them actually want to marry him? Henry VIII, the man who was literally the worst? How did 2 of them manage to escape with their heads intact? We'll also get into historical mysteries, like who really wrote Shakespeare's plays, who was the real Bloody Mary, and what was happening elsewhere in the world while the Tudors were trampling all over England, like the mysterious disappearance of the Roanoke colony and the true story of the girl known as Pocahontas. I'll be joined by Tudor historians, experts, and a few of my friends who really hate Henry VIII to learn all about the Tudors this season on Vulgar History. Because it's Henry VIII all day, every day. Listen to Vulgar History wherever you get podcasts.
You've watched them from the outside your whole life. On TV, on stage, on the cover. The success that always looks like it happened to someone on a different planet. But what if it didn't? I'm Evelyn, and I've spent over 25 years in entertainment, producing for some of the biggest names in Hollywood. And here's what I learned. The distance between you and them, it's a lot shorter than anyone's letting on. On my podcast, Reppin', I sit down with the people you've been watching, and I ask them who they actually are. Not the brand, the person. Where they started, what it costs them, what almost broke them. Their grit, their courage, their resilience, and the lessons they've learned, it's all yours for the taking. Reppin', wherever you listen.
Now, before you go hunting for something else to listen to, let me make it easy. I'm Mike Carruthers, host of a podcast called Something You Should Know, and I speak with experts about fascinating things that affect your life, from human behavior, relationships, health, science, and everyday mysteries. We've been downloaded millions of times because every episode teaches you something you'll be talking about later. Open up Something You Should Know and give it one episode. You might just find your new favorite podcast.